In the M&A world, business combinations can be characterized as either friendly or hostile, although the end result is the same. The investment banking process differs substantially depending upon the nature of the transaction. In a friendly takeover, the target company's management and board of directors approve the takeover proposal and help to implement it. Essentially, there is a meeting of the minds, and both parties agree that the acquisition is beneficial to their respective shareholders. Friendly acquisitions often work toward the mutual benefit of the acquiring and target companies. Both companies develop strategies to ensure that the acquiring company purchases the appropriate assets, and they review the financial statements and other valuations for any obligations that may come with the assets. Once both parties agree to the terms and meet any legal stipulations, the purchase proceeds. The acquiring firm will make a public offer of stock or cash, and the board of the target firm will publicly approve the terms. In a hostile takeover, the target management and board of directors reject the takeover and advise shareholders to vote against the takeover. Factors playing into a hostile takeover from the acquisition side often coincide with those of any other takeover, such as believing that a company may be significantly undervalued or wanting access to a company's brand, operations, technology, or industry foothold. Hostile takeovers may also be strategic moves by activist investors looking to effect change on a company's operations. So, you might ask, how do we gain control? Because the deal is opposed. The acquiring company must gain control of the acquired firm to get it to agree to the transaction. Because the board of directors isn't amenable to the business combination. In a hostile takeover, the acquiring company will typically employ one of the two strategies: tender offer and proxy fight are the typical two strategies used by the acquiring firm during a hostile takeover. Both the strategies have the same goal of gaining control of the target firm so that the unwelcomed acquisition is ultimately approved. Let's start with what is a tender offer. A tender offer is simply a public offer to buy the shares of the target firm at a fixed price that represents a substantial premium to the current market price. The tender generally has stipulations that the offer is good only if 51% of the shareholders agree to sell at that price. If enough shareholders agree to sell or tender their shares, the acquiring firm can take control of the company, change the composition of the board of directors, and ultimately acquire control of the company. A proxy fight is a little different from a tender offer, but the goal is identical: to gain control of the target firm so that the acquisition is ultimately approved. A proxy vote is a situation in which a shareholder gives her vote or proxy to someone authorized to vote for her on a particular matter. In this case, it's to seek a change in control of the organization and establish a board and management team that is favorable to being acquired. With proxy authority, the acquiring corporation is able to take control of the target company, replace the directors with its own appointees, and approve the merger resolution. With this in mind, some basic defense strategies can be used by the management of potential target companies to deter unwanted acquisition advances. Poison pill. The first poison pill defense was used in 1982 when New York lawyer Martin Lipton unveiled a warrant dividend plan. These defenses are more commonly known as shareholders' rights plans. This defense is controversial, and many countries have limited its application. To execute a poison pill, the targeted company dilutes its shares in a way that the hostile bidder cannot obtain a controlling share without incurring massive expenses. Staggered board defense. A company might segregate its board of directors into different groups and only put a handful up for re-election at any one meeting. This staggers board changes over time, making it very time-consuming for the entire board to be voted out. White knight defense. If a board feels like it cannot reasonably prevent a hostile takeover, it might seek a friendlier firm to swoop in and buy a controlling interest before the hostile bidder buys them up. This is the white knight defense. Greenmail. Like blackmail, greenmail is money paid to an acquirer to stop or prevent aggressive behavior. It is an anti-takeover measure in which the target company pays a premium, known as greenmail, to purchase its own shares back at inflated prices from a corporate raider. After accepting the greenmail payment, the raider generally agrees to discontinue the takeover and not buy any more shares for a specific time.